The tragic death of 22-year-old Paoly Bedeski stunned an entire community and put a spotlight on what some see as a major problem in public safety. In critical moments when lives are at stake, seconds can feel like minutes, and with every moment that passes, we cling to a lifeline. That lifeline for most is 911. In those moments, we desperately need to be heard, located, and rescued. In tonight's presentation, we investigate and revisit what happened on a fatal Friday night in October. Tragedy in 306 shares exclusive accounts, unseen video, and explores what should happen and what actually did happen in those critical moments when she was trapped.
Was she really trapped? I mean, this is literally the arguments I get from the other side. Well, what does trapped really mean? Well, hell, I mean, to me, if I can't get out, I'm trapped. Even if I'm scared to get out, I'm trapped. She couldn't get out.
Fire crews, when they arrived, they found fire on the second floor.
The fire started just before 4 o'clock Friday morning.
Yeah, the fire trapped several people and injured 4.
They had the reports of persons trapped.
Early this morning, killed one woman and left 3 others in the hospital.
Going up, the stairwell collapsed.
As crews arrived, they saw heavy smoke and flames and immediately called for backup.
She was trapped. The call was tragically short.
They woke up hearing someone screaming for help.
I have a clock that shines on my ceiling just so I can keep track of time. But the first time I woke up, it was about 10 to 4. 10 to 4? No, it was about 20 to 4 because I had to sleep a little bit. So I would say about 20 to 4. And then when I woke up and heard everything, and I looked at the clock again, and it was about 5 to 4. So I went to bed about 9, and I don't sleep very well. And I woke up, and I heard what sounded like rain, just pelting on. I'm thinking, oh, I didn't know we were going to have rain tonight, and so I just fell back to sleep.
I think that morning I was in bed, but just for a couple of hours, and I got up, and I was looking at the blind, the curtains, and I could see a red glare on top of them, and I heard thuds, and I went to the window, and I pulled the curtains back and the blinds back, but when I pulled them back, I just saw this orange, like a curtain in front of them.
I awoke at 4 o'clock that morning. It was 3:59, 4 o'clock. I heard things. I got up, went downstairs, looked out the front windows, nothing. And I thought, this is very strange. Nothing. What am I hearing? Went back upstairs and returned to bed. For the first time in my life, I felt compelled. However, I just couldn't let it go for some reason. So I went downstairs, looked out the window again, and that's when all of the fire trucks were arriving. They had already arrived, but they were still arriving. I counted 7 before I went into what I called my New York state of mind.
I woke up again, and now the rain sounds like hail hitting the windows. And I'm thinking, man, there's some storm. So I got up, went to look out my window. So let me just look out and see if I can see the storm. So I looked down, there's nothing really happening, and I'm thinking, okay, So I turned around to go back into my bedroom. And as I was going back, I heard glass break. And then I looked out, and over the horizon, I could see an orange glow in the window, and I'm thinking, this isn't right.
And I looked over and I thought, oh my goodness, this is the northwest quadrant of the building. And that's where Father Stephen was living. I called him on the cell phone and I said, just stay on the line with me. I'm going to put 911 on my right ear. I have you on my left ear, and I'm in my state of mind. We're going to get you out of there.
Peggy had called 911, and she was talking to a dispatch woman, a woman that she was talking to, and they were telling the firemen where to go. I opened the door just to peep, and it was just a wall of fire. She was telling all this to the dispatcher and telling them the apartment number that I had, and it was 301. And then shortly after that, they broke the door down and came in and took me out.
So I turned around, and then I heard glass again, and I opened my door, and I looked to my right. The 2 young men from the 3rd floor were jumping out then.
I was in New York City on 9/11, and I know that 5 seconds can save someone's life, and someone will have to call on a cell phone or call one of the trucks I see over there and ask them to please just go to 302 and drag him out of there, please, because the whole building can collapse.
It's just like rain and fire. I mean, it was just coming down, you know. So I got outside and got to the street, tried to call 911, couldn't get through. Called a friend, she got through.
911, what's the location of your emergency? Brookhollow Apartment, Rock Hill and Central. There's a fire.
Right, we have the
There's a fire. I'm sorry?
Who's that person? What's her name?
Nadine Red.
Is she, immobile or trapped?
I don't know. She was just hysterical. No, she's out, but she's just hysterical.
What a person must feel when they know somebody's in danger. Melissa and I are very good friends. And I listened to her voice. I remember calling her hysterical, screaming, "They're not here, they're not here." I'm just sorry she had to go through that.
The following contains exclusive audio from 911 and emergency dispatch channels and exclusive video uncovered in KAKE's investigation. This may be upsetting for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Frederick County 911, what's the address of your emergency? Frederick County 911. What's your address? Okay, it's 80. What's your apartment number? I'm sorry, you'll have to say that clearly.
306. 911, what's the location of your emergency?
I am actually not sure. There are a whole bunch of people outside just screaming. As I look out to the west, there is a huge-looking fire.
Yeah, this is the emergency.
I live at 8165 East Central Ave. There's a fire right outside of our house. I need you guys to come, please.
Okay, what apartment number?
304. It's the whole building, sir.
Okay, and what apartment number are you in?
It's number 304.
304, okay.
911, what is the location of your emergency?
Rock and Central. It's a building on fire.
Station 1, Station 2, Station 9, Station 14, Station 15, Station 18, Station 7 for an apartment fire, 8165 East Central.
We're not gonna die, Jason. Stop.
Tell me exactly what's on fire.
Here.
Can you tell me exactly what's on fire?
I don't care. Get up.
Go.
Officer trying to read my MCTs now. I'm en route. What tech channel?
Tech 1, operate Tech 1.
Officer from Squad 15, you have an apartment number?
So possibly apartment 304 right now.
Incoming crews from engine 15. We got heavy fire showing off Rock Road. Make this a second alarm.
911, what's your emergency?
I live in an apartment complex, and it looks like there's a fire going on. Apartment's on fire.
What's the apartment address?
8165 East Central.
Hello? 911, what's your emergency?
Hi there. I'm over on East. I'm at Brookhollow Apartment, and there are flames. And my friend is in the basement apartment, and he can't get out.
You said what apartment is he in?
Jim, what apartment are you? What apartment are you in? What's your number? It's on the north 302. It's on the northwest corner.
Okay, is he trapped or why can't he get out?
He's trapped. He's on a walker and he's trapped.
Officer Rescue 2. Rescue 2's cleared the medical. Show us en route to apartment fire.
All units be advised, there's a man trapped in apartment 302. Man trapped in apartment 302.
Rescue 2's on scene.
Medic 34 from Post 4 to respond to apartment fire with people trapped. Your address is going to be 8165 East Central. 8165 East Central, fires on scene.
Engine 15, driver to command, we're about out of water.
Command from Surge.
Go ahead, search.
201, 2, 3, and 4 are all clear. They're adjacent to the fire that they just knocked down. We're going into the fire site.
Command for 5714, we have stairs collapse on the exterior.
Got that. All crews exit the structure. We're going defensive. All crews exit the structure.
Here's your 18th command. I'm going to take over this Mayday. Here from search, we're evacuating off from the bottom floor, right under the cloud.
911, what's the location of your emergency? Brookhollow Apartment. There's a fire.
Right.
There's a fire.
Who's that person? What's their name?
Nadine Red.
Is she, immobile or trapped?
I don't know. She was just hysterical. No, she's out, but she's just hysterical.
It's fire 196. I'm responding on the second alarm on East Central. Also, can you give us a dedicated dispatcher to monitor this fire on TAC 1? We've had a mayday call.
All three sets of buildings connect on the Charlie Skies. We're still getting multiple people out of the top floors. We could use a couple more crews. Command from Shark 3. Just an update on the surge. Right before the Mayday, we called the bottom two of the tower of 6 of them were thirst. We got one person out of the bottom right. And then on both sides of the apartment have all been cleared, all 6. I've got Rescue 1, Rescue 1, Rescue 2, Engine 4. They're going to check the 3rd floor apartment where the Mayday was. We did not get searched. Command Rescue 2 search. We got a victim. We're coming out the 2nd floor alpha side. 2nd floor alpha side. Victim, need help with the ladder.
10-4 on that traffic. They're bringing the victim out from the 2nd floor on the alpha side, which is the central side. Bringing the victim out.
Medic 1 for Medic 2. Can you go ahead and start this scene? They're going to have a code red burn alert. Might need airway.
Apartments 302 and 304, earlier ops said people were reported trapped. I'm guessing 304 is where the victims come out.
Yeah, I'm not sure of numbers. Letting you know the apartment number that the victim came out of would have been 306.
Okay, I got you. Victim was in 306.
Command, Rescue 2. We got a primary notice involved unit 306. No accident instruction.
10-4.
All right, thanks, Frankel. We're tracking breaking news this morning. Emergency crews on the scene of an apartment fire in East Wichita, where an emergency dispatcher reported several people being trapped.
We're learning more right now, in fact, that 3 people have been hurt, including one person who has critical burn injuries.
Like it just said that there was 4 individuals, said
4 total patients, 2 code yellows, 1 red and 1 blue that was transported to the St. Francis burn unit. And we don't have no updates since they've been transported. You can protect yourself by inside of a bedroom and always close your door. That add additional barrier from the smoke and heat and fire from traveling through, and just call 911 and report that what apartment you in, and we'll be able to locate you through the window and rescue through window operations. And that's basically how we were able to locate one of the victims, was through the window when we rescued, when we went through our search and rescue operations.
As she was in here. She's in this apartment right here. Here's the bulk of the fire. If engine 15's on scene, correct? And I know by this apartment number, I know that 306 is up here. I got a major portion of the fire here. I got a 4-person engine crew I think they had that night. I even have a squad on scene, so we had 5 people. Dispatch has told me that she's in 306. I figured this out very quickly. I throw this exact ladder that's there. I put 2 people on this fire with a hand line to keep the fire off of us. We crawl up, we get her out, we pull her out, send her to EMS, and off we go.
Here's how it happened. Around 4 a.m., a call is dispatched for a fire at Brookhollow Apartments in East Wichita. When crews showed up, the fire was raging, and first responders began fighting the fire with a primary search and rescue effort. During the search and rescue, though, stairs beneath the firefighters collapsed, prompting a Mayday distress call. What would happen next would form a bond among neighbors forged by fire, but it would divide others through tragedy.
We don't realize how much of a community are. I mean, when we realized who was out, who was able to get out and stuff, I've never hugged those people before. I say hi to them on the stairwell, you know, in passing. We were all hugging.
The guy that lived above me, he was always very nice to me, but I had a terrible time remembering his name. And especially I would go between Jeremy and Jason. It was actually Jason, but I was out there and he offered to let me sit in his van.
I put my jacket on over my pajamas and I went over there. I was over there by 4:45. He was all bundled up. I had brought over a blanket, I believe. He was sitting in this Good Samaritan's car and he was in shock.
There were some of the people that live on the other side that came around, to see what was going on. But I saw them going around checking on all of us, asking us if we were okay. They didn't just come to gawk. They came to check to make sure we were okay.
He kept saying to me, well, I knew that, I'm going to die one of these days, but I didn't really think it was going to be death by fire. And he kept saying that, and I thought, well, I was quite emotional.
God bless Peg. I mean, like I say, I don't really have a terrible fear of death, but I wouldn't like to die that way. I'd like to die in my bed. It went through my mind, if I hadn't gotten out of there, I'd be dead. Like the poor girl on the third floor. But if Peggy hadn't made that call, I'd probably be dead through smoke.
First time when we got out after we all got out, all I could say was, is Paoly home? Does anybody know if Paoly was home? And of course, I don't know, So when the firemen got there, the first thing I told them as they were going is, there might be a young lady on the third floor.
I wish that they had gotten to the young lady on the third floor sooner.
She was found in the bathtub, and she had her phone with her. She was immediately removed. You can hear the traffic.
Command Rescue 2-6. We got a victim. We're coming out the second floor.
They found her and brought her out the ladder, and immediately started, emergency medical procedures on her. From what I understand, they did get her heart rate back a couple of times, but she just sustained too much injury to survive it, which is sad because it's minutes and minutes and minutes she was in there, and we still got a heartbeat back.
We kind of watched the lady from the third floor get brought down, and all the neighbors were just kind of out here, kind of watching in shock.
At that moment, I went to the front door to see if that was even a possibility, and I opened it up and it was all engulfed in flames.
First, I'd like to give a condolences that we do have a report of one of the victims from the apartment fire this morning has passed away, a 22-year-old female. Please think of thoughts and prayers to the friends and family of that individual.
Hi everybody, my name is Paoly Bedeski, and let's get ready to go dancing at Norman Plaza. I dance for La Ballet for Coro con la Corazon.
She was one of the older kids in the dance group, and I asked her, so you like dancing? She said, yes.
Paoly Bedeski, a 22-year-old aspiring model and dancer with a thriving social life and appreciation for her culture. She celebrated it often on TikTok At one point, she had dreams of being a photographer.
I put an ad out and saw that there was a black and white film camera. I could afford it, and so I contacted the person. And so we communicated back and forth about the camera for a while. The lady asked me where I lived, and so I told her. And she goes, "Is this Nadine that lives downstairs from me? Is this Paoly that lives upstairs from me?" And from then on, it was just an opening to a friendship that, started because of photography.
She was into modeling, into the chica raza, into the dance, into everything.
Hi everybody, this is Paoly Bedeski, and let me tell you what I did all day. I went to work to 7 to 3:30. We danced at Wichita Taco Fest ICT. I've never heard of it, but let me tell you, it was fun. This is the backstage. This is our coach, Karina.
The girl was amazing dancer. When I would see her photo shoots and I'd see the pictures online, and I'd see her outside, I'd go, "Man, what a great shot you got there," or competition. I see the one picture they're using a lot on this media nowadays is the one with her dancing with the flow. People need to go to her Facebook page and watch that dance.
According to her friends, she loved performing and truly believed in herself and her future. A future that would certainly include her boyfriend, Josh.
It was beautiful how much love they had, even though they were very young. Every time we saw them together or her calling him and everything, we're like, "Do you miss him?" "Yes, I miss him."
He took her places, She got to travel, which she'd never done before. And she shared, of course, all this on Facebook. Paoly hadn't lived in the apartment complex a whole long time, and I was leaving to go to work early. And her boyfriend was leaving at the same time, Josh. He had his military uniform on. We both kind of walked out at the same time, said good morning. This voice all of a sudden going, "I love you." And then Josh turned around and he goes, "I love you." And I said to Josh, "Is that not a great way to start your morning?" And he said, "It is the best way ever to start a day."
Paoly was living a full life, finding love, modeling, and building her profile in the community. In the summer of 2023, she won a popular pageant through a local radio station.
She was also in La Chica Raza. She had just won that, so she was wearing her ribbon everywhere, saying the Chica Raza, Chica Raza. So she was very proud of herself.
Thank you, La Raza, for having me, and happy Latino Fest. And I thank you for everyone who believed in me, and which I didn't believe in myself, and I shouldn't downgrade myself like that. I just want to say thank you to all who believed in me.
Unfortunately, she couldn't wear the crown because it happened before she was able to get the crown. My mom actually was supposed to meet up with her on Friday, which was the next day, to take some dance dresses for her modeling. She was calling her and she said, "But that's weird. She's not answering," because she knows that about the dresses. She knows that she has the modeling thing. Later we find out it's a heartbreaking story about her.
I had found an earring that she had lost 2 or 3 weeks prior to the fire. And when I saw it on the walkway, I thought, "Oh, this must belong to a beautiful young lady." So I picked it up and I put it over on the landing on one of the stairwell steps going upstairs, hoping that she would find it. And I heard through the grapevine over there that yes, she had found the earring. She was deliriously happy. And I'm in PTSD because it bothers me greatly that she didn't get out of there. And I know it bothers Father Stephen.
The stars lined up for her that night. Everything lined up for her to be rescued from that apartment. Quick response, no traffic. Engines got there fast. She's on the phone with a dispatcher. I told her my apartment number. I'm really kind of away from the fire, it's just the smoke's getting me. Everything lined up, but we just didn't know.
Death is always depicted as a thief in the night. And that's certainly what it was for her that night. You know, death came like a thief in the night.
In the weeks following her death, firefighters banded together as they struggled to understand how a woman was dying while they were right outside her apartment, and they just didn't know. The turmoil worsening as new details came to light about how they should have fought that fire in the little time they did have.
Time is a killer. People don't understand. When I'm sitting out in the front of my house and it's on fire, it seems like forever, and the firemen get there and they try their best and the house is gone. And most people just look at it and go, man, they really tried hard. But in our minds, we know if we'd have been here just 3 minutes earlier, we could put this house fire out, it would have been nothing.
This comes after the union criticized the way dispatch handled the Brookhollow Apartment fire on October 13th.
He says dispatch didn't tell firefighters about this call, so they had no idea someone was stuck in Unit 306.
Unfortunately, the information about Ms. Bedeski calling from apartment number 306 was not intelligibly heard or understood on the phone from the dispatcher.
I'm sorry, you'll have to say that clearly.
306,
And what's the name of your apartment?
Brookhollow Apartment. So help me, please.
You said your apartment is on fire, is that correct? Hello?
There was not any understanding or assumption that she was trapped. The call was tragically short. And in hindsight, as we know what had occurred after the fact, we understand why it was so short.
If we had the information that Paoly was in 306, let's say we had a ladder set to Paoly's apartment. Had that collapse happened, that operation, because we have people on scene, we're in an active rescue, that operation continues. Nothing stops. We'll get other people to help the firemen. But that operation to get her out of that window continues. That doesn't change. Why does it not change? Because I know I have a victim up there. I've been told.
For every fire event, dispatchers create a report. Relevant details are logged, and firefighters can see them in real time. These reports create a timeline of the event, and KAKE obtained this report in our investigation. 3:58 a.m. Paoly Bedeski is the first caller to report a fire at Brookhollow Apartments.
306,
The report indicates a new call is created. 4:03 a.m. The call goes silent. No mention of any sign of distress. 4:29. The fire has been extinguished. A body is found in apartment 306. 4:39, the dispatcher updates the report, finally saying the calling person unclearly reported a fire. What remains unclear about this report, over 50 pages worth, is its absence of urgency. Why does it not communicate any cause for real concern regarding the potential victim until she was found dead? And where does the responsibility lie?
As far as the person that, I guess, are you asking if there was disciplinary action on the call taker side of who heard that? I don't know that I could discipline being able to hear everything into somebody. That's not, I don't think you can create that outcome out of that. And I think the natural consequence of knowing what happened has provided enough repercussion for that staff member.
A fire was raging. One person ran out, another was rescued by first responders, 2 others jumped, and 1 was trapped. Our investigation obtained the audio of Paoly Bedeski's call to 911, and for the first time, we will play the entire call until it went silent and let you consider what went wrong and why. As you listen, viewer discretion is advised.
Frederick County 911, what's the emergency? Frederick County 911.
What's
your address? What's your apartment number? I'm sorry, you'll have to say that clearly.
306,
And what's the name of your apartments?
Brookhollow Apartment. So help me, please.
You said your apartment is on fire, is that correct? Hello? Hey, can you hear me? Hello? I need you to say your apartment number clearly and distinctly. Any medic captain be 10 for an apartment fire at 8165 East Central, Brookhollow Apartments.
This is not the dispatcher's fault. This is not their fault. He didn't get on that phone and hear a girl screaming for help and not tell us on purpose. He didn't think, oh, I'm just not going to tell him that. No, that's the way he was trained. You can only use the tools you're given. And he's not given the tools to be successful. That's not his fault. That's Laura Forshe's fault.
Within the ranks of Wichita Fire, the training at Sedgwick County Dispatch has long been questioned and criticized, though not publicly. That training is now under more scrutiny. After the fire, the county announced a third-party audit to look into alleged communication failures.
The timeline that was kind of spelled out was if we're able to get the request for proposals out at the end of January, early February, you give folks 30 to 45 days to respond. They could be working by the 1st of April. The timeline that the purchasing director gave to the county commission was it might be July by the time they are able to do the work and get a report. So that would be by the end of July would be our hope.
Hope. It can be elusive when no change can be made for nearly a year after the fire.
Who is best equipped to make this movement? Is it a mayoral decision or a county commission?
No, it's a county commission. So, that's another thing Wichita citizens need to know. I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, Wichita citizens pay the way larger majority of that 911 tax that keeps that place going. And then we can complain all we want, but at the end of the day, it's the county's and it's Laura Forshe's. And if she doesn't want to do it, she don't have to do it.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's just crazy. I come by here every day on purpose. I could drive the other way. I don't know, there's something about it that, I don't know. But I come this way, I don't go the other way. I'm not sure I've taken that deep sigh of relief yet. But I've never had that, it's over. Because it's not really over yet. We still got Paoly's memory and stuff to deal with and keep her name out here. Yeah, the fire may be done, but this isn't over with yet. This is far from being over.
If this young, vibrant 22-year-old woman's death does not result in some positive, major changes into how 911 is operated, then we're out of luck. It's over. Most of the time it's going to work. Trust me, most of the time it's going to work. But this is it.
We will continue to be transparent, honest, truthful, and open with all of our partners about anything that we do at 911 because we know that's key to ensuring a good community and a safe community. And those partners include our community members, our media, our public safety partners. We have nothing that we are trying to hide or cover up. We want to be really transparent about what we're doing here.
We reached out to Elora Forshee to respond to the claims made against her and the Sedgwick County Dispatch Center. That request was denied unless we were to adhere to conditions that would ultimately hinder our investigation. So we reached out to others with the county, those in a position to influence potential change with the dispatch center. County Commissioner Pete Meitzner presides over the district where Paoly Bedeski died. He too denied request for an interview. So there's a mountain of questions that still remain unanswered, and a list of unknowns that have yet to be made public. Even the answer to how the Brookhollow Apartments fire started is a mystery, as our request for the information through the Open Records Act has been denied because, in their very limited words, it's an ongoing criminal investigation, though we don't know the criminal nature of it. And again, according to the county manager's office, we can't expect the results of an internal investigation until July, 10 months after the death of Paoly Bedeski. So that's where we must leave our investigation, unresolved. A devastated community, still in mourning, still without answers, only questions. And one question above all: how do we work together to protect lives when they hang in the balance? The answer to that question not only makes us safer as a community, but it honors the woman whose life ended tragically in apartment 306.
How's life for you today?
Well, it's a little fragmented from the standpoint of it's not as settled as it was in my previous apartment, on just a practical way. There were many blessings that I received after this fire and the rescue of things. That case down there is, we call it a Mass kit. It has everything I need to celebrate Mass, except the clothing. Priests wear a thing called vestments for clothing for when they celebrate Mass. Yeah, all those were brought out, and all except one I think was okay. I still haven't unpacked everything. I still don't have everything I need, you know. I mean, so it's a little disjointed, I might say, you know. But when I put in perspective what could have happened, as happened to the young lady on the third floor, then I'm very, very thankful, you know. It could have been much worse. I feel like I owe my life to Peggy.
I didn't want to really go on record as the person who saved his life. I think everyone is a hero or a heroine. This is just my small way of helping my dear friend, and I feel really good about it. I wish I could have helped all of them in the building.
Thank you so much, Peggy. Thank you so much.
I prayed, Lester, present company excluded, for a female dispatcher. And I had the most wonderful, she was an angel. She was a godsend. I will not reveal her name, but I know who she is. She knows who she is. She needs to have a commendation because she's off, and I've learned subsequently that she had the most experience and she'd been there for a long time. She knew what to do. So then when I told her he was in the Northwest Quadrant, I heard him say, "I'm not in the Northwest Quadrant." You know, it was just a scary situation for me, but she knew what to do. She said, "I'm gonna put you on hold, don't hang up." She jumped to the occasion. So I had the right dispatcher. She has the most experience from what I understand. She was an angel, and she put me on hold, and she called directly. And I knew when Father Stephen, his line went dead on the cell phone, I knew they were dragging him out. So I just, she was very kind. She was an angel. She did the right thing, did the right job, whether she had to do it by cell phone or just picking up her landline and calling. However she did it, it was great. She knew exactly what to do.
My thoughts were truly just on Paoly and what she must have been going through. I couldn't get that off my mind, and even now, you know, I just can't imagine. I could lose everything, I don't care, you know, but to think of what she had to have been going through alone, that's what haunts me. Not the fact I lost stuff, you know, not the fact that all of us lost stuff, material things. I just, even today, I can't get Paoly out of my mind.
Would you rather not known or heard the phone call?
The one thing I told my friends was, my biggest wish was that Paoly was on the phone with somebody she loved. That was my biggest hope, was that she was talking to Josh. That's what I'd hoped. And then when I heard, I thought, that wasn't how I wanted it to end, you know? To hear it or not hear it, it doesn't really matter to me, you know?
What would you like to come from all of this?
I hope Paoly's death brings about change. I hope she brings about change. And I think she will. I think the community is going to get so upset when everything starts coming out that something's going to have to change, you know. What'll change, I don't know. But Paoly's death can't be for nothing, you know. And if there were mistakes made within the systems, let's get it fixed.